What's up, guys? Today we're playing the best and most popular deck in Modern right now. The play rate of Jeskai Blink has soared since winning one of the most recent Modern events. Ever since then, it's up to like 20% on Goldfish, and then in Modern Challenges and other paper events, it's one of the most popular decks. It also has one of the highest win rates too, so you know it's a pretty solid deck. One thing that's cool about the deck is that there's no set list, so you can kind of mix and match depending on the flex spots. There are some set numbers for the list, so we'll talk about that and then we'll talk about the sideboard. Starting with our lands, we have our Jeskai lands. Most importantly, we have 3 Surveil lands in Parlor, Meticulous Archive, and then at the bottom we have Thundering Falls. We have 2 Arena of Glory, which mainly goes with Flage, but if you want to haste a Quantum or Solitude, if you're just going to blink it with Philia or Ephemerate, or just consign that trigger, all of that works out really well. For our 1 slot, we have 2 Ephemerate. Again, this pairs really well with Solitude, Quantum Riddler. Sometimes you can just hold it up and save a creature from removal. Consign to Memory is one of the most important cards in the deck. So its main deck hate against Eldrazi, which has kind of dropped off in the meta right now. Everyone's been playing Consign to Memory in the main and side, so it makes Eldrazi a little bit less effective in the meta right now. The main reason Consign to Memory is in this deck is to counter these triggers. So you want to counter the Flage, Solitude, or Quantum Sacrifice trigger. That way, on turn 4, you can get a Flage to stick around, or just turn 1 and turn 3, you can get a Solitude or Quantum Riddler to stick around. For removal, we have Lightning Bolts, Prismatic Ending, 1 Wrath the Sky's main, 2 in the sideboard. Ragavan's just good early pressure. Philia is also good at blinking Quantum Riddler or Solitude. Some play patterns would be flash again Philia at the end of turn 2. Turn 3, you get to warp this, blink it, and then it just sticks around. You draw at least 2 cards. Pretty gross sequencing there. We have Fable, which helps fill the yard for Flage. Teferi's just really good right now between all the blue decks running around. You really want to be acting at instant speed. Teferi really hoses this deck, and it hoses a lot of the other decks in Modern right now, so you could go up to 3, but we're just playing 2 today. So that's pretty much the main board. Moving on to our sideboard, we have Purge for red and black decks, Wrath the Skies for board wipes, Subtlety for Titan and other creature decks, Force of Negation mainly for combo decks, Dispute for blue decks, Surgical Extraction for Flages and graveyard decks, Charm All for land decks, Wear Tear for Titan or other affinity artifact decks, and then Ashiok. Any decks that search their library, so you got Titan, Nearbrand, sometimes graveyard decks. So that's just a quick overview of Jeskai Blink in Modern. Before we get into the video, I want to talk to you guys about becoming a YouTube channel member. You'll get access to a lot of cool perks like loyalty badges, cool emotes, and early access to videos like this one. Also, we are Mana Traders content creators, so if you want to save up to 25% on your first subscription, all that information is in the description below. Also, we do deck techs, so if you have a cool idea for a deck tech, feel free to reach out, and maybe we can play your deck for the next video. So if you want to see more Modern content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and let's get in the gameplay. Alright, welcome to match 1 on the play. This is a 1-lander. Can't keep this hand. Alright, this hand's a little better. Gonna put back Arena. We have Surveil on turn 1, hold up Counterspell turn 2, Riddler eventually. This can get a Meticulous Archive. That way we can Prismatic Ending if we need to, or we can just hold up Counterspell without being sketchy of shocking this in or anything like that. Island and a Tamiyo. That's the perfect Prismatic Ending target. We will Surveil. Get the archive. We don't exactly know what this is. I don't know if Bolt's good enough right now. If we're gonna pending this, we could shock in Sacred Foundry and hold up Bolt. Yeah, why not? Since we can't hold up Counterspell and pending this, I think it's fine that we use pending here and Bolt something more flexible. Maybe they force this or something. And they do nothing. We'll see if they have a follow-up. Maybe another Tamiyo. They do have another Tamiyo. So I don't mind this just because we have the Quantum, so we're just gonna be filling our yard, emptying our hand, and make Quantum a little better. I'm glad we kept the Bolt. Another Bolt. Play Island. So we could Bolt them and then Riddler. I think I'll pass. Hold up Counterspell Bolt. They Surveil. Oh, it's just like the mirror with Tamiyos. Or just like Jeskai here. They have Solitudes. So now we have to kind of be aware of the Solitude just killing Quantum. Iteration. I think that's counterspellable. So hopefully we'd have a land drop and then we can just Quantum. They do have the land still. It's a tap land. Yeah, so land's best draw I think here to draw 2. Fable. It was kind of awkward. I guess we'll just play Fable then. I considered Quantuming just to hit the land drop, and then we could hold up Bolt, but I think getting this down is also fine. They have another iteration, damn. They do find the land. See if they have a 2-drop or they're just surveilling. They are shocking that in. And they kill the Goblin Shaman. Kind of a shame. There's Philia. Say yes. We'll get rid of the Bolt. We'll keep Philia. Consign to memory. So we can Quantum Consign it, or we can just end step Philia. Just sucks not hitting our land drops. I guess we'll pass. I kind of want to maybe save this for like a Solitude if they try to kill, if we try to do all this stuff. Does feel bad missing land drops though. They have 5 cards in hand, and they do make their land drop again. Pending. And they just pass. Flash and Philia at the end step. No plays. Do draw the land. So now we get to play that, get the Warp Riddler, and draw 2. See if they have like a Evoke Solitude. That would probably be the best case scenario, so that way we could consign it. Alright, they don't. Wow, they're letting us attack. That's awesome. Target Quantum. That's huge. I really didn't think that was going to happen. Down to 14. Now we get Quantum back and we get to draw. They fetch now. I guess Surveil now. They do Surveil. Yeah, I wonder what's in their hand that they're not doing anything. Land to the yard. Quantum comes back to Fairy. Okay, that's a good one. So if we can land to Fairy, their whole deck gets a little worse. They might have like Hardcast Solitude, which we have the Consign for. Flage. So I guess that's going to eat Philia. We could consign this trigger. I think it's fine just because we already have this down. Alright, they kill that. They still have 2 mana up. I'm not sure what they're doing with that. We'll fetch and Surveil. I would love for them to try to Solitude this. That's like what I'm waiting for. Let's get a Thundering Falls. Ragavan. Do we want Ragavan? So like next turn we can Teferi dash Ragavan. Get a token. Yeah, why not? I'm just shocking Steam Vents now. Cast Teferi. I'm gonna uptick. If it gets pendinged, it gets pendinged. It's kind of like whatever. Let's dash Ragavan. You could always dash first to see if it connects and then you can cast something, but this just is more protection. And then we actually get the treasure for Consign. We find the bolt. Nah, we don't want to use the treasure for the bolt. Upticking also helps with bolt and with Flage that they're going to bring back next turn. So we get to bounce the Flage, if nothing else, if that's all they do. Oh, Snapcaster. Snapcaster Iteration? Do we care about this? I'm going to say no. We could consign that trigger. Are they just going to like bolt Teferi down? Okay, they do. Maybe they have like double bolt? Okay. So Teferi ate 2 bolts. That's pretty good for us. And Tameo. Alright. Draw Scalding Tarn. Not the most ideal. Let's start with a Surveil. Maybe we could find our own Flage. Philia. Kind of like Philia. It can blink Flage, which it'll get another ETB, but then it just dies. Now let's attack. See if they want to chump here or not. They do not. So we could Flage them down to 3. Now I kind of wish we bolted them, right? But then their Flage comes back. I guess Philia's maybe not as good. Let's cast Flage here. And I tapped terribly, so I can't cast Ragavan now. I have to use the treasure. Down to 3. Cast Ragavan because I tapped poorly. Alright, they attack with Tameo. Make a treasure. Or a clue. If they go to bring back Flage this turn, they're dead. Yeah, I wish I didn't keep Philia on top. Flame of Anor. They get to flip Tameo. That's fine. We could consign that trigger, but it's like whatever. So unless they have something for this Flage, we should just kill them. Preordain. Yeah, and they have nothing. I'm really confused why they didn't try to at least bring it back. Alright, so against Jeskai Control, definitely want the Disputes, Forces, Subtlety. I think Wrath isn't as good. I didn't see... I could bring in Surgicals for their Flages as well. I think on the draw, Ragavan gets a little worse, especially if we want all this. We need 4 cuts. I think Strix is good. Consign's a little worse. Ephemerate's decent. I think I'll cut all the Ragavans on the draw. Just have more reaction here. I'll just try this. Alright, we'll keep this hand. We have at least 2 lands. We can pending their Tameos. Can counter whatever they have. Let's see if this is a Tameo. It's kind of the only thing we can pending in their deck, so it's good that we do that. And we find a mountain. At least it's a 3rd land. Not the greatest, but get a Hallowed Fountain and pending here. Oh, they forced it. Pitching Flame. Interesting, okay. That's like a huge, huge counter. Because we're going to pending this again, but using Force and to pitch Flame just for this Tameo. They do make a clue, and they do nothing else. So play Scalding Tarn, do it again. Now we'll just pass. Okay. Pretty crazy they valued Tameo that well. Probably crack a clue. I think they should have cracked it in response. Maybe they find another force. Maybe they only run one. Iteration. I'm going to force that. They do have the land drop. So a good reason to force that is maybe they're missing on lands. But Iteration on turn 3 is like one of their best plays. They do keep it on top. We'll get a Thundering Falls here. Dispute. I do like Dispute. I think we do get Fable down, even though I think Dispute will come in later. It's tempting to just like maybe Surveil and hold up Dispute. But I think this is fine to keep on top for later, especially if they're missing their land drops. So like, again, forcing that was really good in the end. Another land. Can discard. Yes, discard at least 1. We do find another land. Could maybe got rid of both just because we have the Goblin Shaman, but we don't know if it's going to survive. Looks like it is. Yeah, I kind of wish I pitched both now. This will just be another Surveil though. Then we'll pass. Maybe end step draw 2 with Flame. That's what they do. We're going to dispute that. Again, they're missing their land drop, so I think this is important to do that. Tameo. No plays. So we're looking to Surveil a Flage to the yard. Elegant Parlor. Need that double white. Quantum. I'm going to keep that on top. Saga triggers. Oh, they consign the trigger. It just dies. Okay. Well, we will move to combat. Make a treasure. You could also play Riddler to try to find bolts for this before attacking, but it's fine. We'll... Actually, do we just play out Riddler? I think we just play it out. Just cast it. They're so far behind, I think it's worth it just, yeah. That way Tameo can't attack either. If we just warp it and then cast it next turn, Tamiyo gets in to make a treasure token. If they... Yeah, they're just like desperate. Tamiyo dies. They don't even crack the clue. Dispute. Alright, that should lock it up. So they must have like a flame or something if they're not doing that. Or they have something to where they're not cracking the clue. Let's cast Flage. Alright, and they just scoop it up. Alright, match 2 on the play. So we don't have any blue, but I feel like this hand's good enough to where we'll draw a fetch land eventually. And we have plenty of white cards. We're only having 1 Strict Serenade for blue right now. If we had more blue cards, I'd consider mulling, but get to play this tapped, save some life. Maybe they think we're energy. Occluded Courtyard always makes me think Eldrazi. Oh, human. Oh, Vile, okay. So we're gonna pending that pretty easily. And we draw the blue source. So let's see. Do we want to pending this now or just flash into Philia? Because we can always reset the Vile. So let's just play the island. I don't think we have to waste the pending for like a turn 1 thing. They might be able to double spell, which would be annoying. But we can always pending and then attack. We also have Wrath Disguise, which is hilarious. So if we can find another white source. 2 mana for... Oh, it's Satoru. Well, that's awkward. Because we want to flash in Philia, but if they just Vile something in, they get to draw a card. So if we let that go... I think we are going to let that go, unfortunately. We could counter it, but that just ruins our tempo so badly. So we do get to pending that and then flicker the Vile. They do activate Vile. So a little punished for not viling here. Nor in the Weary. Okay. So we're going to flash in Philia. That's going to go away. Find another pending. So we're going to pending here and then just get rid of the Vile. By get rid of, I just mean reset it. So it makes it annoying for them. Like they're never going to be able to cast anything with this if we keep doing that. Eventually we'll draw another white source. So it's always going to be stuck on 1. Plaza of Heroes. Riki, the History of Kamigawa. Then if we cast a legendary spell, I guess we'll just counter that. Then again, we can attack, eat the bird. We can always pending. Probably just going to pending the Vile, honestly. Just need to make our land drops. Consign to memory. So I'll pending this, make them act if they have a 1-drop. We'll attack, eat the bird. They're making their land drops. Basim. And if you cast a historic spell, draw a card. Jeez, okay. If we can find that white land, fetch land, please. Wiping this board would be insane. I'm just going to counter this because that's going to get them to draw and it's just going to be super annoying. So let's just get rid of that completely. Yes, we draw it. So let's attack first. I'm not going to blink anything. If they want to trade, they can. Interesting. I mean, that makes me less likely to want to Wrath. So I don't know if that was... That's awkward now. Now I don't really want to Wrath. Now I just feel silly doing that. But if we Wrath, we just get rid of everything, even the dog. Kind of surprised they blocked. It might have been worth it to Wrath just so they don't keep drawing cards. Satoru. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe they just run out another 2-drop and we can just wipe the board that way. So we will get to wipe the board, but not how we want. They get him for 3 and Vile. Okay. So we at least get a 3 for 1, but they are drawing extra cards. Another Arena. All right, we're just going to Wrath. X equals 2. They still have 3 cards in hand and a Norn. This deck just draws so many cards. We have Hardcast Solitude. We haven't seen Flage, unfortunately, but they're just like outvaluing us. Play Reiki again. Thalia. So we're just going to Hardcast Solitude, get rid of this. There's a Flage. So yeah, let's cast Flage so that way we can just haste it next turn. Target this guy. This is what we needed. This is how we win the game with Flage. They have 2 cards in hand. Now 3. See how many more creatures they have. And they find Basim and another land. 1 card in hand. They get him for 2. We're just going to clear their board with Flage this turn. Oh, we find a land too. So play at the land. Let's go red, exert. We'll fetch with Flooded Strand. We have to get a white. I think we tapped poorly here. I don't know if we can undo this. So let's just get a... I know we could Surveil, but it should be fine. We only have 1 blue source, so we definitely need the blue. Blue-white. Get Hallowed Fountain. Yeah, we should have used the other arena as the red source. That was... I mistapped. Cast Flage. Flage enters. Ipasim. They have something. Oh, Hexproof and Indestructible. Okay. Did not even see that this had more text. Damn. Alright, we'll attack. It's Italia. Now they can block. They have 2 cards in hand. At least Norn doesn't trigger Basim. Yeah, this, what's this do? Gains Hexproof, Indestructible, and a bunch of colors. Oh, Sorin. Okay. Play a land. Alright, they do attack with Basim. Norn comes back. I'm thinking we're gonna attack with Flage, and then when they go to do whatever, we'll just Solitude this. So let's attack. Target Basim. See if they want to do the same trick again. Alright, they do. Oh, it's exile this land. Okay. Damn, I didn't even see that. That's what I get for not reading. I thought it was just like a tap 3. We have to actually exile it, so they can only do it a couple times. So we'll get rid of it permanently. Gets rid of their card draw if they want to, they're not going to block here, but Norn comes back. 2 cards in hand. Guide of Souls. So they're definitely going to extort. And they have another spell? Damn. Humans you control gain Hexproof and Indestructible. Jeez, okay. So they get rid of our graveyard. It's a weird attack, right? They gain 1, but we gain 3. So now we have to figure out sequencing, how we want to do this with Juliana. Draw another land, which isn't good. Play that. So what are we going to target here? If we target Guide of Souls, let's say they sack it, and then we target Guide of Souls with Flage. Or you know what? We're going to target Juliana with Flage. They're going to sack it, and then we'll just Solitude Guide of Souls. Makes sense. Attack with both. Target here. They sack. Cast Solitude. Get rid of Guide of Souls. This just helps because of Norin just kind of gaining them life. Get them for a bunch. Put them down to 9. They have no cards in hand. Norin comes back. Not sure what they could draw to get out of this. They drew something. They drew Arbaz. Yeah, this deck grinds though. They just have so much card draw. This deck did do well like in the past. I haven't seen it in a bit, but alright, we get to Surveil one more time. We want Riddlers, we want a bunch of stuff. White, white, red, red, red. Let's get an archive here. We actually haven't surveilled yet either. Lightning Bolt. Yeah, we'll keep that. Alright, let's attack. Target Arbaz. See if they just want to chump here. Alright, these bounce. Put them down to 3. And then just kill them. I feel like that was a lot closer than it needed to be. I don't know if we could have sequenced better other than that one turn. So up against them, up against legendary card draw value stuff, we want the Purge, we want the Wraths. Probably want Subtlety also. Dispute's not very good. I think Counterspell is out. They just have so many Caverns, so I definitely don't want that. Strix could be good. If we want these 4, Ragavan gets a lot worse on the draw. Yeah, I'm just going to take all the Ragavans out and try that. There's a 5-land hand with Solitude Consign. I think we can mulligan this. Alright, this is a lot better. We have 3 lands. Solitude, Philia, we'll keep. So do we want to be greedy and put back a land? Or just put back an extra Solitude maybe? Guess we'll be smart about it. Being on the draw, I like putting back a land, but since we're on 6, it's like, there's a Cavern. See if they go Vile here. Halia. So we did draw the land. So we would have been rewarded, but it's fine to play safe. Usually we don't here, but we did that time. Yeah, double Cavern. Guide of Souls. We'll just get a Thundering Falls. Or we'll get an Elegant Parlor. So we can just play Arena and not be sketchy. Consign. I'm going to say Graveyard for now. There's a Plains. Yeah, but we'll just do Plains. We can also hide the fact that we have Arena. They might also attack into Filio. So we'll see. There's Plaza. Now that we know it has more text. 3 mana, exile this land. They do get in. Let's flash in Philia. I don't think they have tricks with this mana base. No, they just missed it. They should have a 3-drop though. Oh, they have the Halia, yeah. So I'm glad we got rid of Guide of Souls because this would have been a lot of life gain. So now we get to Flage this away. Another Flage. Let's just, oh, yeah, I don't know why I bolted it. So we should have just played the Arena. I don't know why I was bolting this in. I like misclicked that too. This is fine though. Eat the Halia. Yeah, you just play the Arena, save life. Attack, 20 all. They have 5 cards in hand. Land 4. We'll fetch next turn, and then the turn after that we could maybe Flage. Driana. Okay, Flage down. It's pretty obnoxious main deck graveyard hate. Into Sorin. Alright, so Flage plan, not as good. Consign. That would have been good to consign that. So let's cast Flage. Oh, you know what? That's my bad, guys. We could have just consigned Flage here. I'm like thinking about surveilling too much. So yeah, just play the land, consign Flage, it sticks around. So I know we're making these mistakes, but it's totally fine because this channel is all about kind of figuring it out. And again, we talk about it as we do it, so it's not like we're completely missing them. So we'll attack, they just block like this. So these are the times when it kind of snowballs to where we kind of messed up here. Then we attack, we forgot it has indestructible, so now they gain 1 life. Again, not the biggest deal, but just a couple mistakes there that we can be aware of. I mean, who knows, maybe this consign will come in handy. Meddling Mage. Maybe they name Flage? We'll see. Again, we can always blink it and cast whatever they name. Maybe they name Solitude. Wrath Disguise, okay. It's a good name too. And their last card is Vile. We're gonna let that go just because they have no cards in hand. Get a Thundering Falls. Trying to get all the double colors of mana. The Fairy. Keep that on top. Alright, so they get in with Markov. We're just gonna cast Solitude and then blink it with Philia. I was considering hasting it, but I think it's pointless. Cast Solitude. Eat Meddling Mage. Attack with Philia. Blink Solitude. Philia gets a counter, and then we get to exile Sorin. They have no cards in hand. Active Vile, 5 lands. We put them in a rough spot here. No plays. And we win. Match 3 on the play. Wow, 6 lands and a Lightning Bolt. Alright, we gotta throw this back. I feel like we've been mulliganing a lot. 6 lands and a Solitude. Oh man. Alright, we're not gonna go to 5. We're just gonna put back a Plains. We're just gonna try to surveil for the win, because going to 5 is just terrible. Here's another land. Those are some brutal mulligans. Island go. Alright, at least no pressure. That's pretty solid. Oh my god. Another land. Okay. So we binned a land, we started with 5 lands, and we just drew a land. At least they're not doing anything turn 1 or turn 2. This is probably like the mirror, I'm assuming. We'll see. Get a Thundering Falls. Another land. Jesus, dude. Crazy. Ephemerate, okay. At least it's a spell. It's not the greatest here, but we have nothing to pitch for Solitude. We might have to pitch Solitude if they have, like, Philia here. They go, like, Sacred Foundry, Philia. Sacred Foundry, Philia. Yep, feels bad. So we'll see if they want to Warp Riddler here. Because I'd rather Solitude the Riddler. That way they don't have it for later. Alright, no plays is good. They get in with Philia. And they just pass. We're going to have all 3 Surveillance out here. Fable, keep on top. And play Arena. Cast Fable. We're going to hold up in the white just in case we need to Ephemerate anything. But we don't have the white card to pitch, so it doesn't really matter. They do get the Blink, the Goblin Shaman token. I just want to loot away these lands. They Surveil. They keep it on top. So most likely, I'm going to say Riddler, Solitude, something like that. Arena. Maybe a Flage for this. Alright, they have their own Fable. So I wonder if they're going to blink the Shaman or blink their own Fable. I'd imagine they blink this so that Philia doesn't die, but this would be pretty funny. Yeah, they blink the Goblin. I'm not going to waste Solitude on Philia there, I don't think. If we were like stuck on mana, I'd consider it. And they have 1 blue, so this could always be Consign, so Solitude might not even land. Counterspell. 2 lands. And there it's tempting to just keep 1 just in case to make the land drop, but let's see. So we're going to cast Flage. They might have Consign for the damage. It's also tempting there to maybe just Warp Riddler to make the land drop, because we pitched them. Yeah, they do have it. This is fine because we have Escape Flage next turn. And we also have Riddler. They might have Evoke Solitude though. Assuming they don't have discard Flage and then bring it back this turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. They would need 1 more card in the yard. Steam Vents untapped. So I feel like they have a Bolt in hand, but they can't Bolt us and bring back Flage because their mana is kind of awkward. They do blink their own Fable. So now they get another Goblin Shaman. I'd take a Wrath Disguise. That'd be pretty funny. But then if we Wrath, they just bring back Flage. Another Flage. Yeah, this is awkward. We can't Quantum Riddler and hold up Counterspell. We could always Evoke Solitude and then Ephemerate it. Then that dies the Flage. They have 5 mana up, so assuming they have a Solitude, which is unfortunate. So if we try to escape Flage, they're definitely just going to kill it. And they're going to end step Solitude. Yeah, this is a really rough spot. Turns out pitching those 2 lands actually really hurt us. Figured we'd draw a bunch more, but we did not. Oh, they don't bring back his Solitude, so that's kind of good. But they do get to loot again. Not like in our position here, though. Yeah, they're not even bringing back Flage. They're going to attack, maybe blink this. Oh, they blink their own thing again. Alright, we have to let that go. We're just like stuck between a rock and a hard place. If we cast something, they kill it. Our mana is very constrained here. Probably should have just cast Flage, killing Philia, and then Solitude at the Flage on the come down. The Fairy. We have to counter that. The Fairy is kind of like the Mirror Breaker too, unfortunately. I would love if they try to cast Flage this turn. No plays. There's a land. I still have Solitude up. So I kind of want to Warp Riddler, copy Riddler. Let's see. Because you know they have Solitudes in hand, so we got to figure that out. Another Flage. Copy. We could try emptying our hand, but there's the Solitude. See if they're going to flicker it or not. They don't. We'll Ephemerate. They didn't have another Solitude, and that's good. We don't get the copy, but we still get to draw a bunch. Ragavan. And this sticks around. I'm not going to play Ragavan. I'm just going to Surveil with this, and then maybe we can get there. Because we really can't afford to Solitude this when they have active Flage with Arena. Wow, they discarded a Consign. Here's the Hasty Flage. If they have a Consign for the Solitude, we're kind of screwed. They're just going to kill... Oh, wait. We're at 3, wow. Yeah, I wasn't even paying attention to my life total, wow. We're just dead. Yeah, that was a really rough set of draws there. So against the Mirror, which is going to be super boring, we have the Disputes, we have the Subtleties, Purge. Wear Tear would only be good against Fable. I think Wrath is medium. We want this. I think we want Force. I mean, Force for Teferi is really good, but that's about it. Strix, maybe. Definitely want the bolts and all that. I think Counterspell is just too restrictive, it seems. Subtlety solid. Keep like 1 pending in. Kind of medium. Maybe we don't need all the Disputes. And I don't think we want Surgical for Flage. We have like Solitude and all that. Like 1 Consign. We'll try that. Alright, on the play. Finally have a decent 7. We'll keep. Yeah, those last draws, just drawing all lands, and then not working out. So we're most likely going to just Surveil turn 1, hold up Philia. We have Purge for whatever they do, Consign for any Evoke triggers. Maybe we can Consign the Flage. Thundering Falls, I'll bend that. 3 lands is plenty for now. They Surveil. Solitude to the yard. We draw Solitude. I'm going to shock this in, make it obvious we have a Philia, but I'd rather Surveil with this if we can. If we don't draw anything else, probably just Flage anyway, so... Oh, they're stuck on 1 land. That's helpful. If we draw Riddler, that'd be good. Another land. Fortunately, we have nothing to... So we're just going to chill. If we can Consign the Flage trigger. I don't really want to get like a blind Flage out here. Discharge. I feel like bolts are better than Discharge. I know some lists are running just the Discharge list. This is probably just like that stock list, whatever. Ragavan. That's fine. So we get to Flage, Consign. They might have Solitude. They pitched one. Archive. We'll bin that. Draw Fable. Let's get a Steam Vents here. Cast Flage. I mean, do we even really... Oh, Subtlety, pitching Quantum. Okay, so we're just gonna consign this trigger then. They're really wasting... They really want Ragavan to connect, so we'll consign that trigger. Kill Ragavan. Yeah, we really wanted to use it for us, but... I was gonna say, we can just like hard cast Flage next turn, so cheating it in isn't the most important. If they weren't stuck on lands like this, I wouldn't have wasted that, but they also probably wouldn't have consigned there. Alright, still one land. I'm gonna cast Flage, see if they have another Subtlety or something. So this will force them to Solitude it, play land tapped. And they don't have to do it right now, they can wait. But they might not want to wait for us to untap because we could always draw Consign. Yeah, super weird games, just both people getting stuck on lands. On the draw, I like Ragavan a lot less. Take like one Surgical in, I think. They might be on like the 4 Subtlety plan, so I'm gonna bring it back in Dispute. And just take out all the Ragavans and try that. Alright, game 3, and this hand is good enough. Not a lot of interaction in terms of counters, but we have Feely and a Flage. I guess if they have Monkey turn 1, it's kind of obnoxious. That's what it looks like. Now we'd want to draw a Bolt or Pending. Another Flage. Most likely gonna have to Solitude this. The question is, do we do it now? I think we have to. Because if they have Consign, we're screwed. They might also have Subtlety. There's really no... There's a lot to play around. I think this is fine. Again, play draw dependent makes all the difference. Alright, no dash Ragavan, that's good. They might have Feely of themselves, though. Get a Thundering Falls. Consign. Say no. Could be good against their Ophelia if they try to flicker something specific. Damn. So many Flages. Too many Flages. Usually this can be the Mirror Breaker, but not right now. They should flash in Feely here. Surveil land. They attack, I'm gonna trade Phelias here. At least try to. I think, right? Actually, they already attacked. They didn't flicker anything. We shouldn't have done that, because we might want to... Because we probably want to either flicker Fable, or just kill it with Flage, so... Yeah. We gotta take our time here. Oh my gosh, the 4th Flage. Alright, well... I guess we just Flage this. Go to Steam Vents. We'll see if they have something for this. Kill their Ophelia. They might have Consign this, but they don't. I'm gonna attack. If they want to flash in theirs, that's fine. Alright, no plays. And no end step, too. Wow. They find Arena. They might have their own Flage just chilling in the hand. If we do find a land, if we find a fetch land, we can get back Flage to Fairy. So if they bounce, we're just gonna Flage this. Love a fetch land, or just lands. Let's just cast Fable here. This is fine because we can always Flage this whenever. Alright, there's a Consign. No Goblin Shaman token. And then we get to bring back Flage next turn. They uptick. They might also have Solitude. We'll get Archive. Arena. Ugh, it's so good. I'm gonna keep it. It's like, they 100% have to have a Solitude, right? We're gonna discard at least one Flage. Or both. Consign, not very good. Alright, let's see if we can bring back the Flage, and then see if we can kill Teferi and consign the Evoke trigger. They just have Hardcast Dispute. Alright. So because we got rid of all the Flages, we can't just Flage and kill Teferi. So we took the more aggressive approach. Did not work out. They do keep a card on top. We could have played it safe and just Flaged the Teferi and just played out Ophelia. That probably would have been smarter. But if they have nothing there, it's pretty game ending. Dispute. Pretty dead. Gonna play Ophelia. And we just have to pass. End step Solitude. Yeah, that's a shame. Yeah, Teferi's really the mirror breaker here. We have the answer for it, but we should have just taken the more conservative route and killed Teferi. Now they have their own Flage. They kill Ophelia. Get him for 3, and then we're just dead. Yeah, I think that one play would have made like all the difference there. There's Teferi. A little late though. Cast Teferi. Ophelia. We'll blink Ophelia just to draw a card, but there's nothing we can draw. If we had the Flage, maybe we kill this, because they're gonna bring back Flage. Well, and that's lethal. Yeah. Yeah, Teferi just making all the difference there, and that one play just kind of screwed us over. Alright, match 4 on the play. Damn. Another one-lander. Cannot keep a good 7. Alright, this is fine. We'll just put back a Consign. Lead off on a Surveil land and pass. I think we've only kept like a few good 7s this whole league. In order to have like a really good league, you really need to keep like all your 7s. That's like the best way to 5-0. And obviously not like punt away your games. There's this Saga. I'm thinking like, do we consign this or do we just counter an amulet? I mean, we could always pending the amulet. Yeah, I wish I didn't fetch now. I was thinking I wanted to consign this trigger. Maybe we do. Then next turn they have to, if they have like a bounce land, I'm assuming this is amulet. They need like another untap land into the amulet and then we can, oh, it's not. I feel a little worse about it now. Maybe it was a little too presumptuous. Draw Ragavan. Ragavan connects, finds Mycosynth Gardens. So Bauble and Mycosynth. This still isn't tapping for mana. Vial. Another land. Dash Ragavan. Street Wraith. What is this? Guess we play out Fable here? Play out Fable. I guess we'll see what they get here. Yeah, they went to go tap for mana. This still doesn't tap for mana. So they're gonna go down a land. Cookbook. Is this like Asmo? I guess that makes sense. Like Asmo, Phoenix, Mox Opal, 3 mana, Academy Manufacturer. Okay, so this is just yeah, Asmo deck. They discard Oval Chase, get to make a bunch of stuff. We could have Solituded this in response. Maybe that was the play. But we can just pending this, or we can just pending this. Yeah, I think I wish I Solituded this, and then we could still dash Ragavan. Then we have nothing to discard. Let's say a land. Get rid of a land and Ragavan. Find the land. Pending here. Then we can just hold up Consign. Yeah, it's close. I mean, they do get to make all of this. We'll see. I guess Vial on 1, so they're not going to Vial in Asmo. They find a Saga. Yeah, Saga's really hard to beat. It's pretty obnoxious. We could Consign this trigger again, but then they can make constructs. I might just Consign the construct making trigger. I think that's how they beat us. They just make a bunch of... There's Philia. Alright, Philia's actually really good to blink that. Blink the constructs. Let's attack. Are they going to Vial in something? They do not. So I definitely think we can sign this trigger. They discard Oval Chase, do the thing. They have something. Unless they're just cracking Clue token, okay. So Vial trigger, and then Saga trigger. Counter that. Because they'd be making like, now we get to copy all this. Tameo. Discard. Make a food. Flash and Philia. We're at this, guys. Oh my god. Alright, well, I mean, it's going to get rid of our stuff. Let's see. I mean, it's going to get rid of this. It's going to get rid of all of this. So how do we want to do this? So we also got to decide how much do we care about all of this right now. This can go get a 1-drop, probably get another cookbook. Maybe we can wait a little bit. I mean, we can also just cast Solitude and eat Tameo, copy it, cast Solitude. They can always gain life, so they're not like dead on board. Let's just attack. We'll hold open Reflection if we need. I think this is fine. I'm just going to reset the Vial. All right, they activate. If they do that, we can just copy Solitude if they bring in it, put anything in. They try to put in Mimic, but they have no creatures. Okay, and then they just concede. So they didn't get to see the main deck Wrath Disguise. But I think this is how we wanted to do it. Like if we Wrath X equals 1, they probably just scoop, but they would eat a food, but then we get rid of the Shaman and Reflection, I believe. I think there are a lot of ways to go about that, but... All right, up against Asmo, definitely want Surgicals, Wear, Tear, Purge, and Wrath. They got Counterspell. I feel like Counterspell just hasn't been doing it. It's better against like other control decks, I guess, but this is kind of like an aggro deck here. So we want all of this. We need 5 cuts. Again, I think on the draw, Ragavan gets a lot worse. Bolt's good for Asmo. Strix, decent. Consign, decent, like it was. 2 cuts. I like Pending for all their drops. Flage is solid. Maybe like 1 Teferi, 1 Consign. And try that. Alright, definitely going to keep this hand. We have the Wrath. We have the white mana, double white here. They do get the Urza Saga online, so we can't do anything about that. And Vial. And Bauble. And they bubble us. So we're going to wait as long as possible to get our Wrath value. So we'll Surveil, Philia, and then most likely Wrath. Thundering Falls. So we have to play this out because we need our double white. If we play this, Shock and Hallowed Fountain, then maybe we just fetch Shock here as well. Them playing this on 1 means they can't make constructs until the end if they really want to. Cookbook. Fetch, Shock. They might have like a Tameo for end of turn. I'm not sure what this is. Get the Elegant Parlor. Philia, Graveyard. And us doing that makes it seem like we have one. So it's kind of like a giveaway. But again, it's fine. We can... Oh, there's a Flage. So we'll play the island, hold up Philia, and then maybe next turn we'll Shock in Hallowed Fountain and just Wrath X equals 1. This could also be Metallic Rebuke. We'd love for them to tap out. They're just going to get maybe another cookbook. They do get another cookbook. So if they tap out a blue, this Wrath Disguise is going to go nuts, especially with this Urza Saga. Oh, Kappa. Interesting. Okay, well, Kappa's a good one. Kappa will murder us. We're going to have to make our land drops. Cast Philia. Ephemerate. So now we have to shock that in. This is how these decks beat Wrath Disguise with Kappa. So this is like a sideboard card. Cast Wrath, X equals 1. So they're very fortunate to have this before everything gets wiped. So we can't do anything now, but what we're going to do is evoke Solitude and pay the ward. Vial. Alright, they get in. Consign. So play Thundering Falls. We're going to do that regardless. Quantum. So we still can't get rid of Kappa, so we're probably just going to Flage to save life. Or we could actually... Yeah, not having 4 mana is awkward. We can't consign this Flage. I feel like Kappa's good enough. I feel like Quantum's good enough to keep on top. Okay, it's Flage. I'm going to hold this back, because if they don't have a artifact to give this unblockable, I don't mind blocking this. It'll fill the yard as well. Oh, they shocked that in. That's not good. Oh, and they have Academy. Okay, so that pumps that up to a 7. So maybe we wanted the land, actually. Maybe we didn't need the Riddler. Because now we have to spend our whole turn doing this. Evoke Solitude. Oh, you know what? Guys, I'm sorry. Okay, so this is fine. So we're just gonna consign the ward trigger. I'm like totally zoned out this league, so that's my bad. So what we get to do is just consign these triggers. Consign, and then consign this trigger. So we'll attack, Blink Solitude. Solitude will come back. I don't even know how long we had that open for, but it ended up working out. I don't know what I'm thinking here. And again, I'm not gonna warp here because we can just warp Evoke, or warp Ephemerate or warp Ophelia next turn. And we can just hold open Ephemerate, I don't mind that. Yeah, this deck has a lot of nuances, for sure. They cycle Street Wraith, another Vial, 1 card in hand, no cards in hand. They bubble us, and they draw, and that's it. Alright, welcome to the final match on the play, and we get to keep a 7. Pretty exciting. I am going to lead off on a fetch land instead of the surveil land, just in case we need that consign. Like we saw before, consigning the Saga trigger or just maybe an amulet or something could be beneficial. And we get out of our deck. It's not the biggest deal because we have 4 lands, so we're going to have turn 3 something. Arid Mesa, please don't be a mirror. No. Guide of Souls. So it is just energy. Get Thundering Falls. Flage to the yard. Solitude. We'll just get a Plains with this. Another Guide of Souls. They fetch. Is it going to be a cat? 3rd Guide of Souls. So we could evoke Solitude, eat 1 guide, consign that trigger. Next turn, Flage, eat the other one. Ophelia's not doing too much here. Alright, so I think we're going to just flash Ophelia next turn, Solitude, consign that trigger, and then, Alright, let's let this guide go. I really want to draw a white card so I don't have to pitch Flage, especially because they're going to jump this. I mean, who knows, maybe we draw Wrath the Skies and we're just happy. It's just kind of like an awkward set of draws here. But I definitely want to get Ophelia up in here. Plains, Ophelia, and Lightning Bolts. Alright, so we can just kind of clear the board here. We are going to get rid of this Flage, unfortunately. Solitude, exile this one, consign this trigger, move to combat, attack, blink this Solitude, bolt this. They don't block for whatever reason. Exile this. Ooh, Urza Saga. Discharge. So we want Arena of Glory, or an untapped land. Ephemerate. Take this Archive. We can bin that. So at least we have like Solitude, Ephemerate. I mean, maybe we want the land to keep up Ephemerate after we bring back Flage. I don't know. Maybe they try to kill Solitude. Dash Ragavan. It's gonna Ephemerate. Eat Ragavan. They chose not to make a construct. Rebound. I'll say no. Another land. We'll attack first. Hopefully they don't have Solitudes. That'd feel pretty bad. Target them. I'm gonna play this tapped because we have a lot of 5-drops. They surveil. We also don't want them surveilling any Flages to the yard. I don't know what to get with this. I'm not sure what this is yet. Oh, Jeskai Steel Cutter. Or just like Boros Steel Cutter. So maybe they get Boots or Shadow Spear. They do make a construct. Yeah, I don't think they're playing Solitude then. Yeah, I guess they're over it. Alright. That was a really good sequence, I think, by us to get rid of all those God of Souls. Alright, so against Steel Cutter, / like energy, Counterspell comes out, Ragavan on the draw comes out, all of this comes in. I don't think we want Charmal for the Sagas. I think we try that. They might have Flages, and we might want the Surgicals, maybe game 3. Alright, game 2, and I think this hand's too slow. Like, we'd get there eventually, but we need some type of removal or something. This would be a lot better, but we're stuck on a mountain. Alright, this is better. Put back Arena and Solitude. I think we need Riddler to get our card draw back, and then Wrath if they kind of go wide again. Solitude might be good to keep just to stop all this. Play Halia. Mox Amber. Mox Opal. Jeez, okay. Another Flage. So depending on what they play, we might X = 0, but I don't think that's going to be the play. Arena. They still have access to only 2 mana. Vexing Bubble. That's fine. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a, oh. We skipped through the end step to Surveil, but... Alright, they haste a Ragavan into Halia. This is going to be 5 damage. We'll see what Ragavan finds. Fable. Okay, that's not castable. So end step. So the question is here, do we double Surveil? Is that weird because we're going to get rid of a card that we potentially like on top? Let's just get a tap land here, and then a Surveil land. Get Elegant Parlor. Ending to the graveyard. And they're tapped, well, they do have the treasure token. I was going to say they're tapped out, but chalk this in. Cast Wrath. They should sack this. And then we have Solitude to just get rid of this. We'll wait a sec though. Alright, we'll do it now before that enters so they don't gain life. And I don't mind doing this because we have the Quantum. So we're going to be drawing more cards. Pride. Didn't draw the land, unfortunately. But we get to get rid of the cat. Definitely need an Arena of Glory. Definitely love one of those. They find a Saga. They do have Blood Moon. Alright, that's probably going to do us in. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I wasn't... We were sort of expecting Blood Moon, but like, not enough. And then our mana just didn't work out. All right, we'll take a couple turns. Maybe we can draw a basic. We also didn't, we did bring in Wear Tear, Steel Cutter, that. We'll take like a turn, I guess. Sucks getting cheesed here. Definitely would have been in a good spot. We also aren't drawing lands, but Riddler would help with that. There's a land. 2, 3. All right, now we know to play around Blood Moon like extra hard. And they even have the, they top deck the plains too for themselves. Wow, we draw an island. Okay, let's pitch Solitude. Get rid of that. Warp this. Unfortunately, we don't have white. That's the issue. We drew the Wear Tear. Need to draw the plains. Oh, they have a Ragavan. They equip. We have like one turn. One turn to draw the plains in order to cast Wrath. Alright, we'll warp. Can we do it? Did we get there? No. Alright, a little unfortunate about the Blood Moon. Our lands couldn't really support not getting that. We maybe could have gotten one basic, but now we 100% know. So we'll run it back. Alright, I'm gonna play for game 3. So also if we can get Feely out, we can blink the moon and do whatever we want. This is cool. We'll keep this. A little slow, but we have the Ephemerate for turn 3 Riddler. We have Flage. We can always float mana and destroy the moon. I don't think we need to get a plains here. We'll just get an Elegant Parlor. Because we need a third land, so they guard Mesa. They get the plains. Mox Opal into Bauble. Damn. So they do get to draw a card. Nice turn 1 for them. We'll get Elegant Parlor. There's a land on top. We'll keep that. They bubble us. Just a land. So this will get a plains. We have the island here. The reason I want to get basics too is because I might want to, they play a Saga here. I'm going to want to kill that. They do. I'm going to tear that. So now Blood Moon is a thing, but I'm just going to get a plains here. Oh, they have Soul Guide? Yeah. This is fine because we're just going to Ephemerate Riddler. Just get a plains. Play the island. Warp Riddler. Cast Ephemerate. They're stuck on one land, so Consign to Memory. We're also not drawing lands. Definitely want more lands. If they have any artifact, they can turn on Mox Opal. Just a plain mountain. Okay. Steel Cutter. Tormod Script, sure. Rebound. I'll rebound. Again, I want to hit our land drops. There we go. Another Riddler. Thundering Falls. We're at the skies. Keep on top. I'm just going to Flage here. Keep our life total high. We could Fable, but I kind of want to make them think about these. So I think this is fine. And we are drawing Wrath, so we get to wipe their entire board. So we want them to kind of commit more to activate this Steel Cutter. I guess as long as they don't have a Blood Moon here, they might get a Plains and Blood Moon. If they do, we have Fable, so it's not the biggest deal. They sack to draw a card because they have Crypt up, so they don't care. Oh, Halia, okay. Into Mopal. That's fine. Into another one. Damn. Okay. I thought they were going to get in for a second and try to, like, bluff some stuff. There's Wrath. So X equals 2. They sack this. I think this is fine. I don't think they're going to have a Metallic Rebuke, right? They Crypt us. X equals 2. Get in. Again, it sucks we're not drawing lands. We've drawn 15. I mean, they've drawn more cards than us. Wow. But we definitely want to try to double spell. But I think it's important to kind of wipe their board there. You could maybe stall, like, one turn. Maybe play out Fable or something, but we got rid of the Graveyard Hate. Another Halia into Mox Opal. Yeah, I mean, they're drawing a lot of cards with Halia. Tap land. Ragavan to the yard. There's a land. Alright, we're just gonna Flage and Consign. Very nice. That lands. Now we can hold up for when they go to cast their Halia in exile. Flage. This is fine. We'll counter it on the way back. And we are going to Surveil. We're not going to worry about Blood Moon, because if they play Blood Moon, they're just like dead on board. So let's get an Archive. Pending. We'll bin that. Lightning Bolt. Let's attack. Target them. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Down to 9. Cast Fable. So now we'll just hold up Strix, and when they go to cast Flage, we just win. Strix Serenade. The new Modern staple. Alright, so that was Jeskai Blink in Modern. We almost got that 5-0. If we would have played a little bit tighter, I think we could have got there, but that's Magic for you. So what do we think about the new best deck in Modern? It's definitely very good. It's obviously playing some of the best cards in Modern right now between Flage, Quantum, Solitude. Ragavan was the best card, but it's still pretty solid. This overall grindy strategy is doing pretty well in Modern right now, just because even if we go down on cards, we can go back up with Quantum. Flage is really good late game, and then we have Wrath the Skies to just kind of wipe the board in the meantime. So like we said before, there's a lot of configurations to this deck. This is what we decided on for this league. Counterspell didn't really impress me. The double blue mana costs were a lot harder than I thought it would be, especially holding it up on turn 2 when maybe you want to Philia or do something else. It was only a 1-of, so it's not the biggest deal, but I didn't really care for it. I think the rest of the deck is solid. You can definitely mess with the numbers between the bolts, the pendings, and the Strix Serenade. Even the consigns, Philias, and Ragavans can all change, so there's nothing really set in stone with this deck except for the Flages, Solitudes, and Quantums, I'd say. Even the sideboard you can kind of mix and match, but again, this is what we went for this league, and I thought it worked out okay. But that'll do it for me. Thank you so much for watching this Jeskai Blink video. If you want to see more Modern content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. Peace.